Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but today we're going to be talking about Toy Story 5. So let's get right on into this. I have never been a huge Toy Story fan, but let me tell you, this movie definitely made me a Toy Story fan for sure. And don't get me wrong, I didn't dislike the Toy Story movies. I did enjoy them, but it's not like I was like a huge fan like a lot of people were. But it's nostalgic, it's my childhood, and thus I reluctantly went to the movies to see Toy Story 5. I don't want to say not reluctantly, but like it wasn't my first choice to see in the theater, but I went and I saw it and I loved it. I think that by far this movie, for me personally, I think it's the best one since Toy Story, since the first Toy Story. I do think the other Toy Stories were really good as well, but to me, this is my second favorite. And I find it so interesting. I think the story was great, and I think that's one of the things that really, took me in. And I also just find it interesting, just the premise of the story. Spoilers ahead, if you have not seen it. But, like we went from like taking this idea of like, what do toys do when, their human puts them down? Like, what happens? Like, do toys actually have a life of their own? You know what I mean? And, we do focus on like their connection to their human child counterpart, even as they grow older. You explore like the adventures of the toys themselves and how they're kind of like secretly in this like in a way trying to continue to let allow their child to have fun, right? And that story is definitely continued throughout the franchise. You also see like toys given away. We see them getting into their own little kerfuffles with other toys and stuff like that. And that is consistent as it is throughout this movie. So I really enjoy that they stay with like, I guess the baseline idea of what Toy Story is. They don't stray away from that. But I do think I like the transition from, that basic idea and to now we're, they went with the times, man. They really did. Like to now we're like exploring like technology, and like how the role electronics plays with kids and toys. And, throughout the movie, you see just kids just on what they call the lily pad. And they're not playing. We see like at the beginning, like the toys are trying to get Jessie is trying to get, I believe the child's name is Bonnie, to like make friends with the kids across the street, and they don't want to play with her. They think Bonnie is weird because she's playing with toys still. And then when Jessie and her, I forget what the horse's name is, goes to look through the window of the child's house, they see them on the lily pad. So Bonnie's parents get her a lily pad, and then through that, she makes friends. Lilypad can also speak. I did not expect them to have to animate Lilypad. I thought it was just going to be like a plain, electronic device because, I felt like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. Like they have no personality, nothing, but they gave Lilypad a voice, and I really did enjoy that. And, it was funny how Lilypad was kind of the antagonist a little bit. She made her friends, and these friends also only want to play on their lily pads. They don't want to play toys with Bonnie. The toys somehow end up at Jessie and her horse somehow end up at a farm of another child because like they're left on the street. And this farm happens to be the place where Jessie's original owner was. Well, I guess it was her original owner. And yeah, that whole storyline, I think to me is also very touching. I like that storyline a lot. And throughout this, Jessie realizes like, oh, like this girl here at the farm is perfect for Bonnie. And then she tries to, at first they're trying to get back home It's funny, they communicate with all her old toys, this girl's old toys, and also her old electronics, which I thought was a great touch for them to put in the movie because it also shows like, the enhancement of like, different electronic toys in and of itself. Like we had the little like the toilet flush or toilet potty training toy. I think it was was it a digital camera? It was definitely a camera. And like, I think it was a car, I believe. There was something else, right? And so you have that gradual enhancement. And now it's like, and those were still actually toys to play with, right? And to now, we just have the lily pad where it's just everything is on there. And it just shows like, a lot of kids today only want to play with electronics. A lot of them don't want to play with physical toys. There are a lot of kids who do, don't get me wrong. But I just, I liked that they kind of addressed that here. And that was kind of the theme a little bit in addition to like how it can prevent our children from actually making genuine friendships. Of course, you can make friendships on your electronics, but a lot of friendships are organically and genuinely made when you do it in person through play as a child, you know? Yeah, there's a point in the movie where Lily Pad kind of tries to give herself away because she realizes that she is having a negative impact on Bonnie because, the girls in the chat, I think, kind of start bullying her a little bit or they're being a little mean to her. And so she's like, oh my God, I, made the wrong friends for Bonnie. She tries to give herself away. Eventually, though, the other toys, including Buzz and Woody, because we brought back Woody, who was in the wild, they, come and try to help find Jessie. Also, Buzz is in love with Jessie, which I thought was interesting touch. I don't remember if he was in love with her in the previous movies, but in this movie, he definitely is. And he wants to get Jessie back. So they go looking for her, try to bring her back. All in all, it's successful. I think the movie, it was so touching because it it focused on friendships, right? And like I do think the other movies did touch on friendships in terms of like the toys and their internal friendships as well as their connection and friendship with their owner. But I definitely think this was touching in the fact that it's like it showed how toys and play can bring children together and make genuine friendships. I also loved how when the kids were playing with the toys, they showed the scenes that they were actually imagining in their heads as they were playing with the toys. I thought that was really cute as well. Yeah, all in all, I this movie was amazing. I loved this movie. I would definitely watch it again in the theater. I recommend it to any and everyone. This is not just for children. I think Toy Story was never just for kids. Also, it's for kids for sure, and I think it shows them what toys can do for them. And I think it's something that would encourage them to be like, I want to go play with my toys. So it's definitely for kids. It's for all the people who grew up watching Toy Story, and it's for people who've never watched Toy Story. I think this is such an enjoyable movie, and I think the message is so great, and it's such a fun movie to watch. Yeah, like this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I genuinely cannot think of anything that I disliked personally. But yeah, go watch Toy Story. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Bye.